This is TransWorld Live.
Hello and welcome to TransWorld Live. Thanks for joining us on this Monday afternoon. Of course, my name is Eric James Jurian, brand strategist for TransWorld Trade Shows, and I'm here with Rich, Vice President.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, Rich?
I'm doing well. How about you, Eric?
I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. I missed last week, but I'm here.
Probably a good vacation.
It was very nice, yeah. So who do we have on today on a special afternoon edition? I'm pretty excited about this episode.
So we got Kevin Alvey from Gore Galore. He's going to do a little walkthrough of some of the new products that he's going to be showing at TransWorld. And then we have Doug Anderson from FrightProps. He's also going to do a tour of the warehouse and some things that they do at FrightProps to bring you guys all your products.
That is awesome. I did catch the episode last week of the warehouse tour. That was so cool. I mean, it's so fun to see all the behind the scenes before we get to TransWorld of all the fun products coming and how they make these things. Awesome. So I guess without further ado, I think we see some people jumping on now, which is awesome. If you're here, say hi or react so we know that you're here. And let's jump right in, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah, let's get Kevin on. I think Kevin's in the waiting room here, ready to give us a behind the scenes look of Gore Galore. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm right here.
I'm right here. I see a lot of bodies and things behind you. Probably in front as well.
Yeah, there's all that stuff.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
So what are you guys all prepping, or what are you excited about for TransWorld this year?
Well, being able to make it to this show for one. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are dealing with that. But no, we've got a lot of stuff that we've been kind of prepping, and a lot of new product and a lot of customer orders. We've got a lot of items that pre-sold that people are just picking up at the show.
Yeah. So Kevin, before we get into looking at some of your products and stuff, what's it like for you for the lead up to TransWorld and getting ready and trying to figure out what type of new products you want to bring to the market and having enough, things to bring to be able to show people what you guys make?
Well, you know how, obviously COVID's changed everything. So takes longer to make everything. Obviously trying to figure out items that fit into each of the categories, coming up with new stuff that we really think is going to make an impression on people. A lot of times it's just about what feeds the fancy, what feeds the fantasy, what makes you happy. So it's let's do this. So then customers ask for specific items. So we also kind of try to fill that hole, fill that gap, take care of those customers, and then work it out to where we'll bring those items to the show, and then they'll pick them up there.
Yeah, that probably works out well for you. I think a lot of other exhibitors do that as well. You try to sell most of what you bring in advance, so it covers your costs coming in, and then anything else is kind of gravy.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. But this year we came up with quite a few new items. But we really have been developing that sled system that we kind of started last year, and we started things even before COVID even hit, where we were really starting to work on taking a lot of products that we already have and reinventing the sculptures, reusing the molds, and then turning them into animations. And so we've got the 3 sled sizes, 48-inch sled that we call ankle grabbers, and a 6-foot sled that we can take the giant heads and put them on those, and then the baby sled so that we can take all of our small actimatronics and put them on those. So it's just weird how, everything's kind of evolved, and then come to find out evolved for good reason, because a lot of haunts are wanting to not rely quite as much on actors and trying to fill holes, because, everybody's having some of those issues. So it's kind of neat to see all of that stuff kind of come together at the same time. Pretty interesting.
And because it's been a while since I've owned a haunt and bought your products, the sled system is different than the track system. Is that correct?
Yeah, the sled's basically a giant animation. It turns what used to be an actomatronic into an animation. So
Oh, wow.
all you need is a step mat or a PIR, a sensor or something, and off it goes. You don't need an actor. And we basically, you can't necessarily take what those are and put them on, except for the giant heads. You can actually take a giant head that has a track, and if you want it to be an animation, you basically just call us and we send you a sled system. You take that head and just bolt it right on, because we use a special plate that we have laser cut, and you literally just bolt it on and then hook up the airlines, trigger it, and off it goes. It's an animation now. And if you want to convert it back to a track system, you just take it off and mount it back on the track, and then there you've got a track system again.
That's awesome.
So, but that's with the big heads. With the other ones, it's a little bit different. The small actomatronics are exactly the same. The ankle grabbers are the ones that are a little bit different, because we basically just take the characters, not the mechanics or any of that. We just take the characters, use those same molds, and use obviously heavier gauge armature, rather than what we try to really do really light armature for the giant costumes. But we kind of do it that way.
That's awesome. I didn't know that they were so flexible. I'm excited to see that at the show. Yeah. So
that's what we try. That's kind of an example of it right there. Like that's Rock Zombie, and he can be either a giant costume or he can be what we call an ankle grabber system.
So
That's
cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So I can trigger that if you want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Show us around. We're excited. I'm like trying to see like.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
But we're still doing lots of other things still as actomatronics, because the really neat thing about what I think is really neat about our products is all of our actomatronics, both big and small, are social distance friendly. Because they literally, your operator is 6 feet away, more than 6 feet away from your patron. So, we're already we've already fit a niche, not even trying, because that's the way, the way they have to operate. So that's always been kind of a fun aspect is, we already help the haunts already kind of achieve that level of safety with their patrons and with the health department, if they're even engaging those kind of controls anymore. And I don't even know.
Yeah, I know when we owned our haunt, we had one of your track systems with the goat head. We had actors that really loved working it, because surprisingly, some actors don't want to be like right up in front of the patrons, but that gave them an opportunity to still scare, but sort of be out of the view of them, which was kind of cool. Get more people involved. But yeah, the social distance thing before was cool, I guess.
Well, the other interesting part is, I have a lot of customers that order the actomatronics, and they say they already have some, or they might have some, and then they have issues getting actors to operate them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because their actors aren't getting that in the face scare. They're not right there, and they really want that. But really, all you have to do is put a backup camera or some type of camera on the system, and then the operator can actually see the scare, and then they feel more involved. So then that makes them a better scarer, a better operator. They do a better job of actually getting the scare. So you have both levels of that same discussion, relating to the operator.
Cool. What's that behind? What are you showing us behind you? Are those masks or just other? Oh
yeah, let's spin that. I'm not going to show that yet. This is for an order that's being delivered to TransWorld, but that's ahead of one of the Wraith costumes. And we haven't brought a Wraith to the trade show in quite a few years, maybe 10 years.
Wow.
So we get to bring a Wraith, and then that's a Banshee. One of the items that hasn't been pre-sold, but just a Banshee giant costume. And this is this is just a brand new sculpt that I just did.
That's cool.
He
Just a cramp.
looks familiar. I think I saw you working on him just a bit ago, right?
Yeah, and what the neat thing and what makes it different is it's not latex. All it is it's purely like cold pour foam. It's a heavy skin foam, and then it's backed with a 3-pound foam, a much lighter foam, and then there's a 4-way stretch spandex hood that's embedded in the foam. So really, it's super comfortable and should be really quite durable. Whereas latex will break down, this won't, and it's fully painted and sealed and everything. And then obviously a full head of hair, which I got to style, and, kind of build that up. Got to smell like that Aquanet hairspray. Use kind of a little bit of that, so you get to breathe that. trying to style the Krampus's hair.
Yeah, that's pretty cool looking. Do you see a big uptick in sales for Krampus style events?
We haven't been doing a lot of Krampus stuff, so this is the first one, and we've definitely sold a couple.
I know here, just seeing other haunts and stuff are definitely picking up a lot more of the off-season style events like Christmas and Valentine's Day and stuff. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah, well, because of that is exactly why we did this. Everybody needs a headless Santa.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he's not real happy because his head's wrapped in lights. But we've done a really good job, figured out a really nice snow that's really durable.
Oh, so that's like stuck on there. That's not just thrown on for looks, huh?
Yeah, no, it's bonded.
Cool.
But needs a bloody stump. Might be a little graphic, but
it's
a nice big belly. He likes to eat. He's a happy Santa.
It's all the cookies.
For sure. But yeah, we did I think 3 to 4 different Christmas things this year. So we've got the Headless Santa and the Krampus, and then we also did a rotten Rudolph actomatronic, which is just a rotten reindeer head with a big glowing nose. So kind of fun, just kind of hitting that line a little bit just to see how people like it or appreciate it.
Do you have any new big Halloween stuff that you can show us yet, or?
Yeah, I mean, we got. You saw the sled, yep. And let's see what else we've got here. A couple different things. Let's see. I'll show you the small actomatronic here. Let's see.
That cool. Is awesome. Those are
Ori eel. So
you always have such unique characters. I love it.
Oh, well, we try. We did a giant anglerfish, which we call a manglerfish, and he's about 4 feet wide, about 4.5, 5 feet tall. It's massive. He's got a big lure, and everything kind of glows blue, and it's all UV reactive. And then that was just like, hey, okay, we got this big water creature. Let's do another water creature, small actomatronic that can be utilized, in that same area. Because, you get one of the giant actomatronics and you need to build around it, because you've got one of those big scares. I mean, it needs an entire scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the goal. Whole scenes to build around these characters. So, keep trying to do things that can kind of fit into that theme to help decorate. We're not decorating for people, but we're building props that they can decorate around.
But you're also inspiring people to build new scenes. Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah.
We all work together. Haunts and vendors all work together to kind of achieve the dream, right?
Yeah.
What is the dream? The dream is to scare the crap out of people and hopefully make some money doing it. So we all want to do the same thing.
People are all and they love the eel head. So I think you're gonna have a hit on your hands with that one.
I hope so. I'm good sculpt. I didn't sculpt that one. Our Jason, our painter, sculpted that. He has such a
wow.
beautiful eye for details, and so it's never a mistake to have him work alongside me. So he does one, I'll do one. I did the giant mangler fish, and then I had him do that. So it kind of works out really well.
Awesome.
For sure. So I guess we got about 3 weeks left, huh? You're gonna
Stop.
You're gonna be bringing this stuff to TransWorld.
I don't want to hear about it. No, honestly, we're doing great. I've got to wrap up. Excuse me. Sorry. I finished taking pictures today, so then I've got to do picture edits, and then I can finish up the catalog and then forward that to the printer, and then that's a major task pushed out of the way, and then we're not starting anything new. We're just finishing up things. I really wish I could take everybody on a tour of the shop, but the problem is just the network and cellular just doesn't work in here because it's a 7,000 square foot metal shop, concrete block and metal. So there's really not much signal that goes along here.
Only bounces around in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Well,
if you want to, how are we doing on time? Because I've got one more line of things I can just kind of.
Yeah, we got a few minutes you can still show us for sure. Go ahead.
Sneak peeks, Kevin. Come on.
All right. Let's see. Well,
we see what you got what you're creating.
What we end up doing is everybody already knows kind of about the. I've seen these before.
Mm-hmm.
These are good little toys. Headlamps.
Oh yeah.
But then we also did a new line. We're going to do a new line of what we call head hangers or just hangers. And so we've got a line of 30 different heads that can be mounted on this heavy cable and then suspended in a hallway, and people can kind of push through them. And I know these used to be kind of available, but one company that actually supplied a lot of them isn't in the industry anymore. So I thought there was kind of a vacancy that we could fill with some of this product.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's the headlamps. I'll just pan across them. I don't have any of the lights on, but you still get the idea. There's headlamp. This is a new one. I just finished this one the other day.
That looks cool.
Fu Manchu is his name. So there's a rotten one. I need to pull this one down because it might be hard to see the hair. There's a clown with some crazy hair. Big old dude.
And do these come with a light in them, or do
they have an LED built into them, and in the back you just connect the 9-volt battery and then partly shove it into a hole, and that'll hold it.
Awesome.
So we had a guest ask, how heavy is your eel?
Well, it's got a counterweight on it, and the counterweight's about 25 pounds. It's probably about 50 to 65 pounds.
Wow.
But it's built well. I mean, it's all bearing loaded. There's no just bolt through steel or anything like that. It's a 2-part system to where the head comes off the control arm. It's pneumatic. The one thing that we changed this year over last year, because some of our vendors were having trouble getting circuit boards, and so we ended up moving to a new controller. So now we're using the BooBox MP3 on these. So we're able to actually control the jaw movement on all of our actimatronics with the controller rather than push button pressing or lip syncing. So now all the operator has to do is push one button, and then the eyes flicker like a random eye flicker. Wow. And then the jaw action is controlled, and then really truly is synced to the audio, so it looks like, sometimes the actor will just hit one button and not control the jaw and then think that's enough, but it's just not.
So it's a lot easier to use now.
Yeah, it's easier to use now, and obviously the Fright Ideas boards are are really supposed to be very dependable. So we really wanted to go with a kind of a high end board, and we may end up bumping up to even a more expensive controller, but obviously that's just more money.
Yeah, it just raises the price. On the heads, we have another guest that asked, are the LEDs battery operated?
Yeah, let's see. Like there's a 9-volt connection, so it's just
Easy.
volt.
Yeah.
And then the back has a hole, and then you just kind of stick that battery in there, and that will hold it because it's a tight fit.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
How often do you usually think you have to change those batteries?
It'll run for 3 days.
Oh wow!
If you just left them plugged in, it'd run for 3 days.
Yeah. So that's continuous. It'll run for 3 days continuous.
Yes. Sorry, I got it. His little hands. I just made a little display to hang. We did this just to hang the headlamps.
Oh, cool. So
We'll mount that on the wall, and that way customers can actually pick them up off the wall and look at them and then hang them back up.
That's awesome.
That's the only reason I did that. But they're nice and gross. Everybody likes severed hands, right?
Yeah, I feel like I need one of those just in the bathroom.
Yeah, hang your towel on.
Yeah, you probably could sell those things.
Looks good. Well, we appreciate you showing us everything, Kevin. If you want to stick around for a little bit, we'll probably have a little chat at the end or whatever.
All right.
We appreciate you you taking the time and showing us what you can. I know the internet's a little tough there, but what we did get to see looks amazing, and I'm sure everybody's very excited about seeing what else you have when you show up at TransWorld.
Oh, for sure. Sounds like a plan.
All right, cool.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.
That's
So
cool.
that was cool.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
cool to see the behind the scenes stuff.
I know. I see all the props at the show, but you never really get to see how these guys are making them, where they're coming up with the ideas, what they're putting into them. You just see a prop and you see it live in a haunted house, or you see it at the show, and it's usually like in a box where you can't really tell how it's made. It's kind of neat to see them actually in the shop.
Is Gore Galore going to be in the same sort of booth placement this year?
Yeah, they're right at the front door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
right
so you won't be able to miss them when you're coming in. You're going to see.
Nah.
If it's your first year, that's the first thing you're probably going to see right when you walk in is a big creature coming at you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long Kevin's been at the show, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He's always going to be at the front door. So good stuff. So how about our next guest? We got Doug from FrightProps. Excited to see this. I mean, if you're in this industry, I think almost everybody's heard of FrightProps. I'm sure you've obtained one of his catalogs at some point. Those things are probably collector's items if you've saved them for all these years. But I'm interested in seeing how that place runs. It'll be cool. So our next guest is Doug Anderson from FrightProps. How you doing, Doug? Wow. Can't even hear you. See if you're muted, Doug.
He's not. He's not muted.
Huh.
Who's this voice in the background?
All right. So our technical guy says he's not muted. It's probably something on Doug's iPad. We got to get his mic going. I think it was working before.
Yeah, we were chatting with him before, so.
It's always the fun of technical difficulties that go on. So, anywho, fun stuff. So, as we try to figure out what's going on with Doug, Eric, you've probably bought product from Doug at some point.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even being a haunt owner before an escape room owner, I've purchased from him across the board. So from haunt to escape room, even stuff previously worked professionally in theater, and we used a lot of his stuff in the theater too.
So if you were describing FrightProps, what would it be for you? What would you think?
It's a one-stop shop for entertainment purposes. I mean, everything from controllers to lighting to it's everything you see on the show floor you can find right through FrightProps. So from soundtracks, and I think they even sell costume stuff. Yeah.
So like I hear, I don't know a lot about this stuff because I don't know in a haunted house, but I hear they not only like sell the parts, to do what you want to do, but they kind of put things all together. A lot of places will sell controllers and different things, and FrightProps, I guess, takes it to another level. They kind of match things up and put it together for you, so it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and the service is second to none. I mean, their customer service is fantastic.
That's great. Good to know. Well, I don't know if we're gonna get Doug here, where he's definitely still having some trouble with his iPad there. Hopefully he figures this thing out at some point. Not sure what's going on. So maybe we can go to some questions. Let's see what
Yeah,
we
let's see.
see.
Everybody's talking about the disembodied voice.
Is that a FrightProps?
No. It's our lovely technical assistant in the show.
So Eric, why don't we, while we're trying to figure out until Doug gets live here, why don't we talk a little bit about the tribute store? It was something we were going to touch on anyway at the end of the show. I know you've been very excited about it, and you have a lot to do with it. You and Jen, it's kind of yours and Jen's brainchild. And from what I know we have. I've seen the facade that was built originally, and that's going to be something to do with the store. But explain some of the things that you're doing.
Yeah. So if you've been to TransWorld, you're probably familiar with the TransWorld merch that's right near registration. Last year it was near registration. This year we're sort of ramping it up and blowing it out of the water with some really cool stuff. So this year we're calling it the TransWorld Tribute Store. As Rich said, we've built a full facade, a big scenic facade of an old cemetery, which is very cool. Will also be for sale. We're going to be posting a lot more pictures of that coming up, but the whole facade will be for sale before the show or at the show. And then essentially we have put together a whole smattering of really cool limited edition merch that's only going to be available while we have it. So everything from limited edition stuff that is signed and numbered by some of our amazing artists and exhibitors, very limited quantities. We'll release those closer to the show, to some TransWorld limited items too. That'll be really exciting.
Cool. So these are products that no one else is going to be selling. They're just they're exclusive to this tribute booth.
Yeah. So you may have seen something similar on the show floor, but they're not going to reproduce any of these items or sell once the limited quantity is gone. It's typically from 30 to 50 pieces only for those limited daily items. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Really cool.
Yeah, so we do have plans of setting up, because we think the popularity is going to be there for those, sort of like a Black Friday setup. So if a line does form, we can walk out and give out tickets. So you won't be standing in line for an item and then get up and realize that it's sold out.
Right. Cool. So is there any products that you're allowed to talk about specifically yet, or is everything going to be kind of kept hidden until we get to TransWorld?
So I can tell you that we're not releasing the exhibitor limited edition daily items yet. That's going to be something we're doing closer to TransWorld. But the TransWorld limited items that we're doing that we've never done before are, I think, a pretty exciting run of kids items. So younger kids sweatshirts that say Future Haunter on them. We even have a baby onesie this year that says Future Haunter.
Oh, cool.
So there's going to be a lot of cool branded sort of material for that with Chad Savage's artwork, which is awesome. If you probably already saw the vintage theme this year. Yeah. So the pumpkin and the ghost.
So what advice do you have for somebody if they want to buy something at the tribute store? I've seen like Thursday is literally insane. Especially, I think, do we open up on Wednesday at the tribute store? I don't remember if we opened it last year a day early, because we do have registration open. So I don't know if we're selling stuff yet, or I think we're waiting until Thursday because we have some products and they won't be getting until Thursday. But when it does open, we sell out of a lot of stuff.
Real fast. Yeah. And we up the quality too on the t-shirts. So if you've looked at the t-shirts before, is that Robert? Are we back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, before we get into something, somebody posted a question. I think it's kind of funny. They said FrightProps takes all our money, and I think they meant that in a positive way. That basically they order almost everything they need through you. So, we're excited to have you on. Can you tell us, give us a little information about FrightProps? There are a lot of people out there probably don't even know who you are. I think most people that have been in the industry for a long time are very familiar with you, but can you explain, how you guys started, what exactly is FrightProps, and what do they need you for in the industry?
Yeah, in a nutshell, I got started in 2003 in the haunted industry. 2003, I believe, was my first.
Oh no. Jeez. And this interview is going to be great. I'm excited to talk about it. All right. So sorry, folks. We're going to shift back to the tribute store.
Yeah. So I do see.
Apologize for the technical difficulty.
Oh, yeah, right. Back. I don't know if it's going to drop off again, but.
in Doug's second job, what he does, he's a magician. If those of you who don't know, that's what he does on the side.
Actually, my primary job here is technology. I do the website. Work. Yeah. Anyway, I was saying, I got started in 2003 in this industry, and I believe that was the first year I went to a TransWorld in Chicago. I really didn't know anything about the industry other than I was a home haunter and I loved Halloween, and I always made my own stuff for my yard. Little motor to make the bushes move, and all that kind of little stuff to scare people come up to the house. And I decided to start making stuff in my garage. And the first thing I brought to TransWorld was a full-blown elevator ride. I made a motion platform, walls, the whole deal. Had surround sound, 8 channels of surround sound. I had a local guy author the audio for me, so it was true surround sound. We also brought, me. I also brought a couple of air cannon stuff, a fake rain window where it looked like it was raining, and And that very first year, Travis from Fright Ideas was right across the aisle from me, and we became best friends, and we're still best friends to this day. But I learned at that show, especially with the elevator, I saw everybody crawling under it and trying to take pictures and figure out how I made it. Right. So, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? Everybody wants to steal my ideas.
Yes.
But it's not really, it's an odd industry because it's very much garage based and grassroots. And that's where I came from, and it's just a matter of shifting my marketing and my perspective on the industry. I went, oh, these guys want to make it themselves. Why don't I sell the parts so they can make it themselves?
Yeah.
And then a step further, why don't I provide instructions and kits and things that make it easier to get in? Because when I got in the first few years, there weren't any really good controllers. There weren't any really good how-tos. There were the Halloween list and things like that where you could go get information from other haunters. But there weren't really retail sites where you could go and buy that stuff, and there was no place where it explained to the layman how pneumatics work, how motors work, how controllers work. So over the years, I slowly built that up, and we enhanced that, and we started carrying more and more products catered to the do-it-yourselfer. And just the evolution of that kind of led into reselling other people's products.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's we've kind of put a lot of effort towards that the last 4 or 5 years, because there's a lot of artists out there. They know how to make a great product, but they have zero ideas on business. And we've seen it in this industry because, like I said, these are guys. Most of them, when they start out, they've got a full-time job. They're tinkering in their garage. They've got a great idea, and they bring it to the show, and then they fall flat on their face because they can't deliver. So our goal recently has been to try and take some of that load off of people and help them to, see the pitfalls and let us do the sales and marketing for those products and let them be the artist.
Yeah, it's a hard job. I mean, you have a point there. I mean, some guys, they can do it, but yeah, from that perspective, I agree with you. There's some people that they're good at creating, and they're probably not the best salespeople. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can probably help them in that area.
Yeah, and this industry is just ripe with that. There's just so much artistic talent, so much.
A lot.
But not always a lot of business know-how.
Yeah.
So
I saw one of the questions that somebody had posted, and this is interesting. You don't just sell to the haunted houses. I mean, there's quite a bit of home haunters that literally spend their entire budgets with you, with stuff they're doing to decorate their homes as well, right?
Yeah, on the FrightProps side, the bulk of our business is home haunters. We definitely sell to all the haunted houses, and it's good business. But home haunters definitely are a large part of our business.
Good to know. Yeah. So how about, and then when we didn't even put this on, or we probably should have. So you obtained Poison Props, 2 years ago?
Yeah. So we officially took it over October before last. Adam Johnson was the creator of Poison Props. And there again, I met him at a TransWorld. I met him at TransWorld in Las Vegas.
Hmm.
Wow.
TransWorld
Yeah,
in Las Vegas.
that was
What was it,
wow. That was like a decade ago.
2007, I think.
Yeah, probably somewhere around. Yeah, it's
Well, 2000. Yeah. Anyway, that's where he got his start, and I met him there. And I try and go around and meet everybody because I'm kind of a salesman kind of guy. But
right.
I got him to use our controllers, got him to use our pneumatics, and whatnot. And so we've had a really tight relationship over the years. We talk all the time. We do stuff together. He'd buy stuff from me. And it was a logical fit. We have the facility for it. We have the know-how. And he was looking to retire. So, that's how it went down. And we've just been going gangbusters ever since we acquired it. It's just nonstop.
Does Adam help out anymore, or is he completely out of the picture?
Oh, yeah, he totally helps out. Yeah, he's a consultant. We run things by him. We send him videos. We've pretty much at this point in time weaned ourselves off of him because we've come so far.
Right.
He was very much a smaller shop, a small crew. He could do X number of units, and we're more of we're kind of more of assembly line oriented, where we're efficient. And I'll show you a little bit of this, but everything's driven by the computer, project timeline. We cut things in bulk, we drill things in bulk. So we have a lot of different systems that he didn't have. So as time goes on, his amount of knowledge that we need we're moving away from that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's, from my personal experience, like I hear if there's ever a problem with a vendor or whatever, because that's what I do for TransWorld, mostly handle the vendors. And he's just people had the most respect for Adam. Like he had a great customer service. His products, every product breaks, doesn't matter. If it's a moving product, it's going to break at some point. And his customer service was literally amazing and a great company. So it's good to know that, you'll be upholding that as well.
And I will say, to our credit, we have, and I would hope this is generally true for people watching, but we have an outstanding reputation for our customer service too.
Oh, people love you. And speaking of, it's kind of funny. I think I told you this, but back to the home hunter side, I'll give a shout out to the Chicago Hunt Builders. We went to an event that they had, and what a great group of people. They actually say they're almost cultish to FrightProps, because I was there and I had sent you some pictures and stuff when I was there. Your catalogs are everywhere. If we were playing a drinking game, if every time I heard FrightProps, I wouldn't have been able to drive home for a week. That's all everybody was talking about. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes me very proud, not just because I'm selling these people products or they're buying my stuff, but it's really rewarding to see the industry grow and to see how I'm helping it grow and making it more of an easy entry for people to get in and spark new ideas. And do that at the show every year. I see tons of new vendors and new people, and it's just great to see the industry grow. It's
for sure.
And it's very important. It's important to my business, and personally, it's important to me to see the industry survive and grow.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It was a rough couple of years for all of us. Even the 1 year even the second year, it's going to be really cool to be back. This year will feel as close to normal as possible. It's really cool, to be back to where we were. And I think, from what we're seeing, we've talked about this on other shows, the hotels are literally through the roof right now. And we've never had several hotels where you can't get rooms. So
honestly, I've been doing this since 2003, and I haven't felt such buzz for this show since then.
That's awesome.
It's through the roof.
It's going to be awesome.
People are so excited, and it's accumulation of different things, being cooped up, and wanting to get out, but also wanting to network and connect with people again. I was fearful before last year's TransWorld show. There was a point in time there where I thought maybe Halloween's dead. Because here in Minnesota, they weren't letting the tots trick or treat, So I thought, wow, this could be the end. And that's why I went to TransWorld and still purchased the same amount of booths. We didn't have the crew, but we brought what we could, set up smaller. But I thought it was important to show a big face and show that we are still here at Halloween.
No, you were right. I mean, a lot of because perception is reality. Even though a lot of people don't look at it, it's even weird with the way the show was spread out last year, just because of COVID. People are like, "Oh, the show's smaller this year. We're not in the dome." It's not the case at all. Like the show's the exact same size. It's actually larger, but it's the same as what it was previous years. You can say, sure, there was more square footage, but everything was spread out 40 feet. Some people love that though. They like the space because it gave more room to sell. But in reality, perception is reality. People look at it and they say, "Oh, where's the crowd?" And yet the attendance wasn't lower. I mean, we were missing the international contingent, but we made up for it with domestic. And in the end, it was pretty similar to any other year. This year, from everything I'm seeing, I'm telling you, it looks to be jam packed this year. It looks to be, and a lot of new people. A lot of new people we're seeing right now. We're seeing a lot of changing of the guard too, where some of the older guys are kind of selling off, their businesses to an employee and things like that. Or there's new employees where their haunt got closed down and they're starting their own. So it's kind of cool. I mean, you will see some people this year that are testing the waters and they need help, like from FrightProps, because they don't know. They've working at a haunt, running a haunt is a big difference. So they need people like you to help them out. So
and that's the thing about going to the show is it's easy, and I do see this. I see this on Facebook right now, where you have these smaller vendors, first-time vendors, scrambling and it's going through so much trying to make these molds or trying to do this for the show. But really, I would advise those guys to keep in mind that they're going to be selling products and taking orders.
Yes.
So keep in mind, you're not just busting your ass for the show. If you have a halfway decent show, you better be ready to bust your ass when you get back home.
Yes.
And I think that's very important because our industry in previous years has been ripe with vendors not delivering.
Yes.
Or delivering product that does not match what's on the show floor.
Yeah.
And I think for the quality and the longevity and the health of our industry, it's very important that vendors really stick to what they promise, and also I'd really advise people to pick up the phone, or we don't use the phone, but answer emails, at least answer your emails once a day, because communication is key in this industry, especially for haunts that are out there in the trenches, in the heat of it, trying to get their haunt up and running. And here's a vendor that they can't get a hold of. It's nothing worse.
No, and that's good advice. There was one of our shows we had previously, we had a 16-year-old girl that's a first-time vendor, and that's really the advice. It's about not taking orders you can't fulfill. It's about making sure you keep the people that you can get the orders from, keep them happy, and make sure your quality is representing what you're showing on the trade show floor. So, and it's it's hard for any of us to control that, but it's good advice, and it's going to keep you. I mean, how many years has FrightProps been exhibiting at this show? It's going to keep you there, like you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's so one more thing, Doug. I know we're going to do a tour of your place. You are speaking this year, which is exciting. Someone posted this, unraveling the mysteries of animating your props. And you're the speaker in that. So just if anybody gets a chance to book Doug's seminar, he's going to be speaking on some things that they're experienced in. So if you get go ahead.
It's an hour long. It's going to be cram packed with the basics of pneumatics, new motors, controls, triggers, sensors, mechanisms, things of that nature. So if you're interested in prop building, animated prop building, or animating your props that you have, it's going to be a good seminar.
Yeah, and it's cool that, like, even as a company, a lot of companies want to they want you to buy everything from them. It's cool that you guys went in that direction from your experience from the first year, that you're kind of here to help give you the parts because you want to see other people be creative and make their own stuff. Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yep. So are we ready to kind of, I'm excited to see what happens at FrightProps. I've never seen anything inside. So, I mean, I'm sure there's some things you don't want to show us. So feel free to, let us know what we can see. And if there's something you don't want to show, that's fine as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what I want to and ignore the things I don't.
And I hope we don't have any technical difficulties, or me and Eric will have to come up with some kind of banter.
We're going to start talking about the tribute store again. Yeah.
Yeah. Start thinking up stories that make no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hopefully I don't drop out. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you some of fabrication. Okay.
Cool.
I won't show you the boring stuff like shipping and mold making and mask making and stuff because we've seen all that. But
Well, I want to
I'll show you
see
a little
Scott and his wife. I want to see what they do all day long there.
I'll show you Scott. Kathleen went home because her son is sick right now.
She cut out early already?
Yep, cut out early.
All right, well, hope the kid's okay.
Let me see if I can flip this.
Always want to. Oh wow, he's
Got
Larry
some pinball.
Kirscher guy. He's got pinball machines in there. Whoa, that's cool.
Are those set on free play for your employees, or do they have to pay?
Doug's charging 50 cents a game. There's Doug's lovely wife.
Did we lose his audio
I
when
think
he
we
flipped the
lost his
camera?
audio, so me and you might have to wing it.
We'll narrate. We have no idea what these rooms are.
There's the purple floor,
Carpet. Yeah.
known for FrightProps. They're purple color.
I like the branding color. Yeah.
All right, very nice carpet. Check out the type of wood he uses for his doors. Amazing. And we went dark. There he is. We lost your audio again, Doug.
Audio.
All right.
I'm trying to look and see what questions were brought up here. Definitely learning. A lot of people commenting on the communication, so you definitely get that with FrightProps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting because like their way of communicating is definitely through email. I mean, don't try to call. It's way better. They like to have everything on email. It's easier for them to follow the trail and any type of problems they have and stuff. But if I'm telling you, if you email these guys, you usually get an email really fast. But if you don't get one within 24 hours, it's very unheard of with FrightProps or Poison Props.
And I think something we didn't touch on with FrightProps is all of the escape room controllers that they have too. So if it's not just haunted houses anymore. Now they're distributing great products to other industries as well, like the escape room side. Even Christmas animations you can build out of their stuff. So it looks like
absolutely. Yeah. Well, they got a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, they got some stuff covered up they don't want us to see.
Yeah, for sure. So there's some of the Poison Props animations you can see there. Very cool.
We used one of the Poison Props animations in our escape room, and it terrified the living heck out of people.
Yeah.
Those are great.
It's neat to see, it's interesting how they've come so far, and they started out with building products, and then they went a whole different direction of actually providing, basic pieces for you to be able to build your own products. It's kind of cool, and you're right. It is used in a lot more industries than just Halloween. Yeah. I mean, the Christmas guys are using some of Doug's controllers and parts and stuff as well. And without that, the escape room industry's been using them for years. He provides a lot of products. Wow, look at that.
Bro, holy moly.
Jeez. I didn't realize he had that much square footage.
I didn't realize either.
I wonder how big that warehouse is. Wow.
That looks huge.
Yes, very big. Very cool. Jeez.
They're trying to pull the covers. They want to see what's under all those black covers.
Sure, exactly. Those are the hidden things that he's not going to show us.
It really is like going backstage at Disney World. Like they don't want you to see stuff. We'll have to wait for the show. That'll just ramp up the excitement.
They got the forklift in there and many other things for sure. Wow. Maybe after Doug's done walking us through, he can go back in his office and we can ask him a few more questions because it's kind of exciting.
Do you know was he one of the first to bring a elevator type?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I have no idea. Wow. I mean, it's like shelf after shelf after shelf. And there are literally parts everywhere. I would have never realized this was this big.
Yeah. And he's out of Minnesota. So
Yeah.
we might have to take a trip there and see it in person.
Yeah, you're pretty close. You can probably zoom right up there. Wow.
Oh, that's cool. It is like Halloween Dreamland. I love it.
Yeah, it is. Some of this stuff, it's the behind the scenes stuff that's really cool that you don't really notice. A lot of things that are being done. Wow, he has 2 floors too.
And he basically started as a home haunter, it sounds like.
I know. That's what just shows you. Like, I mean, it's funny how many guys. Wow, there's Scott. Hey, Scott. Wow, he's in his little man cave. Looks cool. Wow, look at all those masks. Unbelievable. I would have never known all this existed there. I mean, we've seen some behind the scenes. I really wish his audio was working so he could explain what everything is. Man, is that cool. I mean, even people's comments, people are saying like it's mind blowing to see some stuff. It is really cool.
It's incredible, organized chaos. They hope that the zombie snails are back.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that from up top. That is insane. I never really realized it was that big. What part of Minnesota is he in?
I don't know. That's like bigger than most haunts.
We got a message from FrightProps. They said he'll turn his audio on the minute he figures out how to do it. If we can get Doug, he can just head back into his into the office area. We can chat some more with him.
Yeah.
Wow.
It looks like his signal's getting a little better, so it was pretty. Yeah,
there's some cool questions when he gets back on. Some folks are asking if there's 2 separate catalogs, if there's going to be a Poison Props one. That's a good question. So if he has one for Poison Props and one for Fright Props, if there's 2 separate catalogs. I don't know if he joined them together or not at this point. I don't think he has. I think they're still separated. All right, we got him back in his office. Let's see if we can get the audio back on.
Is Poison Prop still in the dark zone too? Just showing the.
Yeah, he's staying in there. He increased the square footage a little bit because some of the props extend out pretty far, so he extended his footprint. That's really cool.
Yeah, I love the artwork. It's so iconic when you see the front.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? But yeah, those are some of the old catalogs. Like I'm telling you, like if somebody had all the catalogs from year 1. Moving on, they're like iconic. They're really cool.
I'm sure someone has to out there.
I know. Well, I'm sure Doug has copies of them. Yeah. But it's the same thing with TransWorld. Like when it was our 10th year in St. Louis, they gave us posters of all 10 years of what our advertisements were, and it was really cool to see 10 years ago, like where we were with advertising to where we are now. Like it was such a huge difference, and it's cool to save all those posters. So you got your audio back, Doug? Close. Maybe not. Maybe we got to send. I'll send my 8-year-old son over there. He's gonna jump in his go-kart and ride over there to show you how to put your audio on your iPad.
But there we get it. Yeah.
Funny stuff. So. All right, well, let's give Doug a couple minutes, I guess, to figure it out because he did last time. We can finish up what we were talking about the tribute store because we'll run into some time. Yeah. We have a lot of questions for Doug, but we only got probably about 10 or 15 minutes left before we got to cut off here. But so back to the tribute store, you said you're going to probably closer to the show. You're going to release some new cool items that you're going to have.
You are. Yeah.
Is the square footage of the store any bigger than last year? I know we had a lot of display cases in the front and stuff like that. Is that all staying the same, or are we changing that up a little?
No, it's all changed. So the essentially the tribute store space now, it used to just be that one counter. This year is 15 feet by 52 feet.
Wow.
So it's massive. And this year it is shoppable. So rather than walking up to a counter and waiting for someone to show you a size t-shirt, it's more like a real store. You can touch and feel all the products. And see what the quality is, and then go up and.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's actually nice because sometimes I think that's like great advice for an exhibitor. Even like when they're doing the show, a lot of guys put the table at the front of the booth and they close it all off, and it's not inviting to walk in there and actually talk to you, and you're standing out in the aisleway. I think that's a great idea because our registration area does get pretty crowded. and some people are just shy. They don't want to walk up and talk to you and ask about pricing and stuff. So is everything going to be priced, or how's that going to lay out?
Yeah, so everything will have a price on it, right there. And like I said, you shop the store and take it up to the desk versus having to go there and look in a showcase or ask for something. As we mentioned earlier, if it is a limited edition daily item and we only have 30 to 50 of those items, and there is a line, we will walk the line and hand out tickets for the first people, so you're not waiting in line for something that we're going to run out of.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
that's a good idea too. I mean, I assume that stuff's going to probably go pretty quickly.
Pretty quick.
Because, I see the way the shirts sell. I swear we never order enough. It's always, but part of that is too, you get stuck with clothing from a previous year that's dated. A lot of people don't want to buy it, so it makes sense. We try to guess where we want to be. I actually think this year is literally going to be insane. I mean, I agree with what Doug said. It looks like we're going to have like the most crowded TransWorld we've ever had, and I'm curious. I think the tribute store is literally going to be insane because last year, we had a store and stuff like that, but everything just seems like last year was like a blur to me. I don't know what it was like for you, but it almost feels like it didn't happen. It was kind of weird.
It was all
I think the excitement's back. I feel like excited to be back at the show again. My favorite day is Thursday, and like 2 hours before the show when everything's down. And Jen and I and some of the staff we go in. Usually if Jen's dad comes into town, I and her father usually would do a golf cart ride through the floor. That's my favorite part of the show when it's done and we're literally an hour, and then there's usually several thousand people already lined up waiting to get into the show. That's my favorite part.
A lot of people, we have some questions asking if they can pre-order stuff in the tribute store. Unfortunately not, because it is all limited edition merchandise. Like Rich was saying, even when it wasn't limited edition, just the TransWorld yearly shirts do sell out really quick. Can I tease on who may be offering items in the store, the brands, not the actual items? I can. So a great clue would be someone last year did a limited edition item that people were fighting over. That same company is doing a different limited edition item for the tribute store. So that's a great tip. If you know what that is,
that's a good question.
And good to ask for a little hint on that one. So
for sure.
I did see that FrightProps commented and said there will be 2 catalogs. So that answered that question for us.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. And the tribute store is opening. It won't be open Wednesday, so it will be opening on Thursday morning. So we'll have more information if you watch the TransWorld Facebook and social media channels. There will also be an email blast scheduled to go out about that. If you're on the email list, if not, make sure that you sign up.
For sure. So, and Doug's catalogs, I mean, somebody asked if you can pre-order catalogs. He brings more than enough for everybody at the show to have one. So you can grab those at the FrightProps booth or the Poison Props booth, which they're very close to each other. Doug is literally right outside the dark zone, and if you walk in a dark zone, he has an island outside the dark zone, and then a 3-booth section across from it, and then right in the center of the dark zone is Poison Props. So very close to each other. You'll be able to grab catalogs for either or. Doug, you're back on the screen. Did you happen to get your audio back or no?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
So we got about 5 minutes. Eric, do you have any questions for him that come across, or maybe something somebody else might have asked?
I think everybody on the feed is pretty. The main question was, will there be 2 catalogs? And we got that one answered. Just a lot of love and support for FrightProps. So that shows, that's a huge testament to your company. Yeah,
for sure. And we really appreciate you coming on, Doug. I mean, over the years we've become friends. I enjoy hanging out and teasing with you. If anybody doesn't know Doug, he's a very funny guy, fun to talk to. Feel free to go to his booth. His wife works in the booth. You bringing the kids this year, Doug, or
my kids are grown.
Your one older son comes sometimes, off and on. So
yeah, they'll be there. Yep,
they'll be there working the booth as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for the booth. We're bringing the full setup, so the full FrightProps truss, and then the full Poison Props, even bigger Poison Props because we purchased more space.
Yes,
and then we're bringing 35 Poison Props. Pretty much every one of those is pre-sold. I think we have 5 left or so. And then it takes us, we fly in Sunday, and it takes us until Thursday morning to be fully set up.
Yeah, it's
Will
it's
Poison
a-
Props? Someone had asked, will Poison Props be taking orders at the show, or are you already full with orders?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I think you said
That's,
what you said was that your display models are sold all but 5. Is that what you?
Oh, right. Yeah. Traditionally, Poison Props tries to sell all the models before the show starts, so we don't have to pack it and bring it home. And people like to take it home from the show floor. Like I said before, some customers have been burnt by other people in the past, and they like to know, hey, that thing I see on the floor, I want it to be mine, and they want to take it.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense.
so yeah, it's pretty close to being sold out at this point, which is really good considering that we're still a few weeks out.
Yeah, so if anybody is interested in picking up one of these display models, reach out to Doug sooner than later so you have an opportunity to get
For
one.
email sales at poisonprops.com, we have a spreadsheet that shows what's left.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Well, I don't have anything else, Eric. Beyond that, I think we've spoke a lot on the tribute store. We're very happy to have both Kevin Alvey and from Gore Galore and Doug from FrightProps and Poison Props be on the show. We're very close here. Everything looks to be smoothing out pretty quick. Again, if you haven't gotten hotel rooms, please book those immediately. Click the travel button on the website and book them. We did rearrange some of the hotels because some are sold out, so we try to slide them to the bottom and put the ones that are available up top. A tip is always in the last 30 days before the show. Some bigger companies, like say for instance FrightProps, if they had 10 or 15 rooms booked for their staff, they may release a couple of them. Some of the main hotels do end up with rooms opening up down the stretch. So if you haven't booked yet, you can test the waters with those guys and see if you can get any. But beyond that, we look forward to seeing you guys all in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Take care, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Okay, see you guys.
Bye. Well, that was cool.
That was cool.
Anyway,
I thought it was cool.
yeah, it worked out. It was a little, it was a little strange for us to have to wing through it and stuff like that. But there's always technical difficulties.
It's fine.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
I was excited to see Doug's stuff. It was kind of cool to see the full layout of the place. It would have been nice to have his audio, but at the end, I'm sure we'll have Doug on again at some point. But anyway, I thank everybody for watching, and we look forward to our next show.
Are we back next Monday again?
Yeah, actually, I think we're going to do a show this week on all Christmas.
Oh, awesome.
I'll let you know the times. I know we're going to have on Tara from Winterland, Shane Dabbs from Santaland, and we'll probably have one other guest. So it'll be an all Christmas show, and we're planning on doing that later in the week. It'll either be like Thursday during the day, or maybe Friday evening, possibly Wednesday. But we'll figure that out in the next 24 hours and get that listed. But we want to cover some of our vendors. We have amazing vendors in the Christmas Hall, and we really want to get to introducing some of them to some of the people that haven't been to the show yet.
Awesome. I'm
All
excited.
right. Well, thanks everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. See you.